This is Gabe Nedwick with my presentation for MPA 540 Public Personnel Management about the different generations and how to manage them in the workplace. So based on the lecture that we watched and just basic information floating around in books and online, the basic generations that are in the workforce right now are the baby boomers, the Gen X crew, the millennials, and Generation Z, or it goes by different names. But based on this information and a lot of other information, this puts me into the millennial group, which, I mean, it's written on there, but I don't know, when I always, I guess, thought more of myself as the Gen X crew. I'll go in that in just a minute. But the characteristics from the lecture about the millennials or Generation Y are in the workplace. They're confident, social, and diverse. And some of the other information is just they're achievement-oriented, team-oriented. They like the job hop. They're not as loyal as like the baby boomers to certain jobs. They're looking more for which job fits their needs and what is kind of going to give them the goals and things like that they're looking for. And they are feedback seeking. I think as the generations go on, like the next generations are going to be even stronger in like the feedback seeking, things like that. And obviously tech savvy is all the generations are going forward, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, all of them, and whatever comes after that. It's going to be more and more tech savvy, and technology is going to be more and more a part of it. But going back to what I said before, I don't know, growing up, I just always thought I was Gen X before I really knew like the dates that were involved that, just because the things that I remember clearly growing up were obviously like the MTV generation and obviously the stuff in this graphic off to the right. I don't know, that just kind of felt like my childhood. I don't know. I might be looking too much into that. And obviously this presentation is more about the different generations in the workplace. So some of the Generation X characteristics are similar to Generation Y. They're a little bit more individualistic, and they also have a work-life balance. But this graphic here says work hard, play hard mentality, which I think probably distinguishes them more from the Generation Y, the millennials. And obviously this graphic's dated because nobody's comfortable with PDAs anymore. But again, as time goes on, everybody's going to be tech savvy. Everybody's going to use technology in every job and things like that. Thinking of coworkers, I work with a lot of people from all three of those generations, not so much the Gen Z crowd, but for some reason, I don't know why, one of my coworkers who's technically also in the millennial crowd, she might not be the best example, but her motto is probably similar to this: with no power comes no responsibility. She's very happy where she is. She has a job. She just doesn't want to take on any more work, any more responsibility. She could see herself. She's still in her early to mid 20s, but she said that she can definitely see herself staying with the company forever as long as she gets no more responsibility and no more things that she has to do. I don't think that that's common with most people in probably any generation, but for some reason she jumped out to me the most. And it might just be looking at a younger generation or younger people. I don't know if that makes me sound really old, but looking at younger people, I just noticed that a lot more, I think, and that's not meant to sound bad to anybody else, but yeah, I do work with people that are closer in the different generations to the higher end of Generation X or even in the baby boomers, and I do definitely see some of them with a stronger work ethic, stronger focus on a career and not just a job. So I do see that in my workplace, and it could be different in other locations, other jobs, other like public sector fields, things like that. As far as supervision of the different generations. McGregor's theory, as we've talked about and read about his theory X and theory Y, it might be, I'm not obviously in a leadership position right now, but it might just be my negative view of some things. But I guess I kind of look at some of the younger generation as trying to work as little as possible and preferring direction. But again, McGregor tells us that we should not necessarily look at things that way. And I like this quote from McGregor's article: "Only the management that has confidence in human capacities and is itself directed towards organizational objectives rather than toward the preservation of personal power can grasp the implications of this emerging theory," which I think really sums up the main point, the gist of what he was trying to say. And another theorist who relates a lot to this is Mary Parker Follett. And another quote from this one that really stood out was, "Our job is not how to get people to obey orders, but how to devise methods by which we can best discover the order integral to a particular situation." So as leaders, people shouldn't be looking as a one-size-fits-all sort of leadership style. It should be more of looking at different people, looking at different people's needs. If you are leading in different, if you have different people in your organization, different generations, you need to look at their basic needs. What are they looking for? What motivates them? What doesn't motivate them? What makes them not work, not want to work, things like that. So again, even as like the baby boomer generation starts leaving the workforce, the Generation Z is going to be coming up into the workforce, and obviously in years down the line we're going to have the next generation, whatever they end up calling that one, but it'll of course bring with it its own challenges and things like that. So yeah, that is a longer discussion than I thought it was going to be, but anyway, thank you all for listening. Have a great day.